On. All right, welcome back. This is Youngzers, episode 46. Um, got some stuff rolling in for you today. Andrew, oh wait, no, Andrew was here last week. I thought that was 2 weeks ago. I was in here. Um, Buccos, I think they're back. Maybe they have the longest win streak right now in Major League Baseball at 5 games. I did confirm that stat. I looked it up. A little bit to talk to in the Penguins area. Not much, no Steelers at all, but Pirates will probably be the main topic. We got unfortunate update on the golf situation, the golf outing, as I guess you'd say. Dan, we all agreed it was best to push it back a little bit. We're not quitting, we're not quitters, but I think each one of us needs a little more time in our allotted area to get this going. So the course a little pricey. We didn't want to do that to the fans. We got hardworking fans. The
Blue
backbone,
collar.
yeah, the backbone of Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and we thought $85 was just a little too much for a round of golf that you'd be playing best ball. We also didn't have a solid head count, and I haven't even touched the trophy situation yet. So we all fumbled a little bit. Let's just say that.
Didn't say it was fumbled. The first roadblock came up whenever Dan called. That's really the roadblock. The price and like Dan said, they didn't sound too thrilled to have us out there. I don't know. Maybe they're not a Pittsburgh course. I don't know. Maybe we got some Cleveland or Cincy owners, Dan. I don't know, but well, a little resistance there.
It's possible, but whenever you call up a track and they don't seem too thrilled about getting some business in there, and some of the things I was saying, the guy was very taken back by, I guess, is the best way to describe it. But I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna bash nobody or nothing. But $85 for a round. I knew it was pricey. I didn't think it was that pricey. And I don't know if I speak for the majority. If I'm paying that much for a round, I want to play my own ball, stroke it out and fill out my own scorecard. So, blue collar guys are coming out. This will push it back a little bit, maybe get some more interest. I was also thinking, kicking around the idea with you two, that if you sign up, bring a partner. Okay. We're not going to pick teams. But if you are a solo, one of the first 3 solos or whatever, you can play with one of us. Just get it out there. If you have a playing partner you play with all the time, bring your buddy. That's fine. We'll say 16, so 13 including us, and then if we got to put it up to 20, that's fine. So that'd be 17 more people. So just let us know, and just bring a friend if you have a buddy that you play with all the time and you're always playing scrambles together. Come play 2-ball, best ball, with a partner. So let's just have some fun. Move it back a little bit. I think we rushed it. We fumbled a little bit. We fumbled a little bit. It happens, but hey, we're not quitting.
I think we're still on the Super Bowl. We fumbled. It is what it is. But the other option, we're keeping it a little more price friendly, keeping it more local. June 25th, I think we're talking about. That'll be the set in stone date. Ryan will need the trophy 100% by then. But things pop up. The blueprint's there. But, things pop up. Hey, it is what it is. Just part of life. Other than that, we're ready to roll. The Pirates are rolling. The Penguins hired a new GM who's gonna absolutely tear apart this team, and I love it. Not tear apart, but you know what I mean. There's gonna be some changes, big changes in the front office, which is much needed. Ron Hextall was our first ever Youngzers certified Jagoff. As you see on Twitter, we don't throw that out there lightly. He's been the only one really so far. If you're certified Jagoff and the Youngzers are tweeting it, you done screwed up. Ron Hextall he's number one. He's the inaugural member of that club. But we'll go back to the Pirates. I know Ryan's jonesing, claiming the Buccos are back. So
no, I'm not saying that. For now. You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
I said back for now. It's a seesaw. I'm sick of the seesaw where we're back and then we're not. Every week I'm teetering in a different direction. Ever since probably late April when it started back, and then May we weren't back for a little bit, and then we had like 2-game maybe win streak, and I was like, we might be back. And then the rest of May, I was like, wait, we're not back. And now I'm like, we could be back. I don't know. It's a tough situation. The pitching's been fine. I like the pitching. Yeah, good pitching recently. The bullpen is doing a lot better than what we anticipated. The only two things I'd say is Roansy needs to like figure it out. I just don't understand how you can have like 5 earned runs in 3 innings, but also have 5 strikeouts. Like how does that happen? I don't know.
It's just fast.
I don't think he has a lot of room to grow. Rich Hill, stellar outing again. He's sneakily, staying in there. I think he got tagged up against, was it San Francisco? Maybe he had a bad game.
One of those
Couple. It was either Seattle or San Francisco. But I think that West Coast trip threw him through a little loopish. Down in, they weren't in Texas, were they? Were they in the Rangers? That was at home still. Seattle touched them up. They had one game against the Giants. They got touched up a bit, but since then they've been playing some solid baseball. The bats have been out, and when they weren't, the pitching, the defense has been stellar. So just ride the hot bats, stay competitive, and it looks like O'Neal Cruz is on track to have like a little bit of an earlier comeback than what we thought.
You know what the biggest part of is there's really been 2 players I think that have kind of provided a little bit of a spark for the offense. Tupaquita Marcano's been playing well at short. He's got the bat going. But Key Brian Hayes is starting to heat up a little bit. And that's, he gets that bat going. That makes that lineup that much more deeper. Because really, the 7, 8, 9 spots, you could even argue some games, the 6, 7, 8, 9, Austin Hedges stinks, number 1.
He hasn't stunk as badly. He still stinks. But, it's like someone just threw an air freshener on top of a pile of like cow dung. Because he was batting like 140. I think he's like 180 now.
Ooh.
Maybe. But it's an improvement. You swing 40.404.
He's still batting less than all 3 of us weigh. Okay, that's terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have another point, Motts, before I step in?
Let me see. Actually, I don't see what he's batting now. I think he definitely had a hit today.
Because I know Ryan kind of cut you off there a little bit.
No, go ahead. I'm doing independent research right now.
You good? Because I'm about to go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here's my thing. I can't say that they're back, even though I'm enjoying their winning again, correct? I'm not going to take that away from them. I told you at the beginning of the year, I changed my attitude on the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm going to enjoy their winning as sporadic as it may come. But the thing that pisses me off, you start 20-8, and you go, was it 9-6 or 9 and something in the month of May?
That's being generous. That's being generous. So I think it was like 6 and like something.
They don't win a series in May until the final series of the month. If they play 500 baseball in the month of May, they are double-digit games in front of Milwaukee right now. So I know you can give and take, and you can be optimistic that they're still in it because this division is weak as hell right now. It is a down year for the NL Central. It is so bad. And for the Buccos to be here at June 4th, win 5 in a row, are they tied with Milwaukee or are they a game back still?
What, half game back? Here's I want to add on to that point real quick.
When's the last time we could say that? It's been a while. So it's exciting for that, but you still understand that the management isn't going to bring up the help that they need right away. And that starts to weigh on people and starts pissing people off. And you start getting them naysayers and them people that are going to be talking in your ear, hey, the Buccos are doing what the Buccos always done. They hook, line, and sinker you, and then they shit the bed.
So, I totally agree, Dan. That's, they're, I didn't like Ben Charrington's quote this week. Our internal analytics said we're ahead of where we should be. Like, no, don't give me that BS, number 1. But number 2, bringing the help up they need. So the big news today, Henry Davis getting promoted to AAA. It's way overdue.
Yeah.
But I mean, as Pirate fans, you're familiar with the Super 2. They want that extra year control.
Yeah.
So I believe the Super 2 deadline is somewhere within the next 2 weeks. So after that passes, I think then, we might see a Quinn Priester come up, make a start, possibly, Andy Rodriguez or Henry Davis is up here sooner than later. I think the parts are moving. And as a small market team, I understand that extra year of control is, it does mean a lot in the grand scheme of things. But when you had an opportunity to really build a lead in the division, I think you just kind of waive that and you bring up the help you need at that point. Like I get it, but at the same time, there's the time and place for it. They had a pretty good opportunity and we kind of just squandered, that what were they, 20-6?
They were 20-8 at the end of April.
But here's where I disagree. I think, like, looking back at it, you do want those guys up, but how the schedule is, they flip-flopped it. So best case scenario, if you're going to go on a losing streak and you're the Pirates, it was May, because look at how many divisional opponents they've played and how many games they've played against them. They haven't even played the Cubs. They haven't even played the Brewers yet.
Correct.
So you pretty much got, what, 2-3 months of you're going to be hammering those divisional opponents, the losing streaks out of the way. We got 2 weeks away, like Andrew said, from that, 2-year whatever deadline that you can bring these guys up. Yeah. So maybe it was like, hey, we could wait a little bit. We're playing these divisional teams, and we're playing really well against the divisional teams. So the Cardinals, I think we did pretty well against the Cardinals. Seen the Reds. The Reds are nothing to write home about. But the only thing is we haven't seen the Brewers yet. We haven't seen the Cubs. So the advantage is there's still a lot of interdivisional baseball to be played.
See, I agree with that, but, and this is just me, just a very specific example. Henry Davis, the number 1 pick. He was an older rookie. It was not like he was 18 coming out. He was in college.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys younger than him that were already brought up to AAA. He should have been up in AAA. And Andy, he's been, a little cold at the plate, but you still, if those are your 2 best basically position prospects right now, you find a way to get them in the lineup. Davis has been playing first. Rodriguez played first last week, right field. You find somewhere to put him in the lineup. That's where I'm like, he was hitting mashing the ball in Altoona. It does no good to keep him there. You bring him up to AAA maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then you have him getting those, higher quality at bats. You have him working on stuff, and then you bring him up. Like that's where I'm, just puzzled. Why was he kept in Altoona?
A lot of people want to say, well, they look at the whole league as a whole. No, not a lot of people get caught up from Double-A. Well, look what they did with Jackson Winsky, Tucupita, Marcano. They both came up straight from Double-A. So I don't want to hear that you can't make that transition. It's still at the ball, you're still working on your fundamentals. It doesn't matter what level you're at. And if a guy like that can help you, you got to bring him up. So when Sherrington said that, and I heard that, as a Buccos fan, and I know there's some diehard ones out there, that should almost piss you off that the team is exceeding expectation. What kind of expectation did they have? Were they going to be a 90-loss team, a 100-loss team? Well, they came out like a man on fire. You got to help that team out. You got to get them the help they need. I know Cruz went down, and that's a big piece. That could be, a timely hit here and there from him. Maybe you don't slide that much in the month of May, and it happens. But when you see that your team is now squandering, you have to throw them the life preserver. Get some guys up here. Get some young cats up here that might do some damage at the plate, give you a timely hit, make a play on defense, because they were horrendous in the field as well. Base running errors. They went from one of the best all-around teams, pitching, offense, base running, defense, to one of the worst. All the errors they had. So I think somebody, a younger guy coming in might inject that youth into the lineup and get the spark back.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because, like you said, Cruz getting hurt, between him, Reynolds, and Hayes, I'd rank him as the guy that, they could not afford to lose just because of how valuable he is on the base path. Defensively, he's pretty good. I'm not saying he's a gold glover, but he's solid, better than any other option they have there. And he's got a legit bat and legit power. So you take that out of the lineup, that's just a gaping hole regardless. You could argue, taking Hayes' glove off third would be a huge loss, which it would be. Reynolds would be a big loss, but Cruz has all those tools. So then you look at the lineup, it's basically half a lineup that's a threat at the plate.
Yeah.
Austin Hedges, you may as well have the pitcher hitting at that point, right? And they always, the same argument, oh, his pitch framing and his defense. He can't throw a runner out, and it's not like his defense has been phenomenal this year. Like you're telling me Henry Davis or Andy Rodriguez, whatever, you take your pick, whoever you like more. Their defense, are you sacrificing that much to get legitimate power in Davis's aspect, or Rodriguez, who has pop too, but is a great hitter? You're telling me that their defense would be that much worse than Hedges, where their bat wouldn't make up for it? I call bullshit on that. That's just how I'm looking at it. I'll sacrifice an error or two here and there to have an actual bat in the lineup.
Yeah,
especially.
Yeah, I saw a stat this weekend. Kip Wells has a higher career batting average than Austin Hedges.
That's terrible.
How's that?
That's terrible.
Especially Hedges. He's always the guy when there's two outs, there's runners on second and third. You're not telling me that Davis or someone could knock that ball in every now and then. You got to give and take. Like, where are these runs coming from? Is he saving as many runs on defense as he's leaving batters or runners on base while we're on offense? And especially in May, whenever the bats are cold, you just need that extra. You need that extra juice out there. But I also think that's their Yu-Gi-Oh trap card, like what the Pirates have, is the current lineup. It's still kind of riding that hot handish, and they've still bought in. We were getting to the end of that trail, like end of May. It was like, if they don't win a couple games, we're in the doldrums again, and maybe they activate their trap card. But I think after this past week, it's bought them a little more time until they can, flip it over and you have like Exodia. Then you're like playing Exodia or like Obelisk the Tormentor, or I don't know. Blue Eyes White Dragon.
So here's my thing. And I think it's bigger. If you look at the bigger picture with Cruz going down and you look at your lineup, then you got guys like Connor Joe batting third, where O'Neal Cruz would be. I'm not saying Connor Joe is terrible, because he's seen the most pitches in the MLB right now. So he gets quality at bats, but he's more of a 6th, 7th hole kind of guy. Yeah. And that bumps everybody else down. So you're kind of scrambling. I'm okay with Kutch batting first, batting leadoff.
He gets on base.
Exactly. Cabrian Hayes is getting hot now. It's finally. I mean, we're a third of the way through the season.
He was getting very unlucky, though.
Yes,
he pounds the ball, but it was just like the past couple weeks he's been hitting it right to somebody.
Yes, I get that. So him in the 2-hole, that's fine. But then you have Cruz batting third, and then whoever you want batting cleanup, Sawinski, that's fine. But you move everybody else down. So then the top of your lineup might be top heavy, but it's dangerous, and you guys getting on base, and then you have your guys that hit well with runners in scoring position and ducks on the pond. Those guys pull through. So maybe go to the first first inning, you might come into the dugout or go back out on the field with a lead, or however it is. It just moves that lineup and it mashes that lineup better. That it's not like, oh, well, we got to put this guy here. There's a lot that goes into it. And I started realizing that and doing some research that losing Cruz is huge. It really is. I think I kind of just shrugged it off because it was the beginning of the year. I felt like they might squander anyway, but here we are with still a chance. They're still alive in the divisional race in 4th day of June. Haven't said that in years.
It's a lot like, you're not just losing a good bat, you're losing the presence of a good bat too. And when the pitcher sees like Cruz in the hole, or like, he's on the dot warming up, he's a little nervous about the guy in front of him, like currently in the batter's box. So you lose, kind of like your show pony a little bit too. You see a 6'7" guy that like mashes the ball, like stepping in, pretty soon you're gonna be a little shaking, shivering your timbers there.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree. No, it's hey, let's just enjoy the winning while they are. That's I'm taking Dan's motto. Yeah. I'm just enjoying it.
I mean, I'm still enjoying every game I've watched. I enjoyed all of May still, like even though they lost, like every single game they had a fighting chance. Past years they don't, like when they didn't have a fighting chance. But at least like I'm gonna get out of bed and at least have the game on and like at least be listening in the background, because you're at least going to see a couple good players here and there. I saw a graphic of a couple years ago, just Phillip Evans in the lineup, guys like that, and like it just makes you appreciate, even though May was horrible, that the lineup we had of guys that are actually competent and not
Troy
triple A,
Stokes,
double A players.
Yeah, you had Troy Stokes Jr., Michael Chavis hitting clean, shit like that. Yeah, I'm fine with not seeing that. But I
do have one more Buckos question because I figure you guys are ready to wrap it up. 2,000 hits for Kutch, big deal. I think it's a big deal. I think it's a humongous deal.
Yeah. He's like on the fringe of like every record or like every milestone right now. He's like 400 double. He's like right there with everything. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal because there's not very many. There's like 200 guys that have ever done it. So
it's like 1.4% of all MLB players. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Agreed. Okay. Because I know there's people that are trying to, you see it on Twitter, try to shrug it off, try to brush it off. And the one guy I saw, he's like, 16-year career, that's only 125 hits a year. But don't you understand that he was, by the time he come up and then the DH come in and this and that, he wasn't playing every day. He was, he was a cornerstone of the Buccos there when they were winning. So I think it's a big deal.
And here's the thing as well. I think it's a big deal because, whenever players leave and come back, it's like they're out there and it's just like just like a visual show. It's meaningless, it doesn't mean anything.
It's their farewell tour.
Kutch is actually like contributing, and it's more than just, a hitting record. He's growing the future. He's like paying it forward through the Buccos organization. He's getting these young guys. He's getting them ready to roll. He's teaching them, the tools of the trade, what it's all about in PNC. And he's trying to bring like baseball back to Pittsburgh. So it's more than just him just going out there and swinging the bat and having his, his swan song, if you will. But I don't know. I just think it's more than just a record to him, at least.
Yeah.
It's him like leaving his legacy to the future of the Pirates. That's what it's more of.
Yeah.
A lot of heads rattling.
I agree.
Not much more in the Buccos. I don't know who they have this week. Oakland coming into town. Yep. So, Oakland.
They should sweep that series.
And then they got the Mets after. So,
and the Mets are. Well, they're not doing that well.
No,
either.
The Mets are right there keeping pace with the Buccos, but they spend 10 times the amount that the Buccos do. So, they could go 7-2 with this 9-game homestand, and I think they're back.
And they got the return of Danny Burgers.
Yeah.
Fleece of the century. He's playing horrible. He got Holderman out of that. So
Danny Burgers.
Danny Burgers return. So exciting times for the Pirates. Everyone's excited. They had a good crowd today. It was Cookie Monster Day, Cookie Monster plushie day for the kids.
11:35 start.
11:35 start.
Yeah.
Weird time to start. It's because it was on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was on AT&T.
It wasn't.
I don't know.
Wasn't.
It was on 93.7, and then I had it on my phone because it wasn't on AT&T. So, but Bednar, good to see him actually out and contributing. About a month of no saves, I think, right? And then you rattle off like 4, right? 4 or 5, like, good for him. Probably the current all-star candidate for the Pirates, I'd say, right?
Mitch Keller.
Mitch Keller.
Bednar.
Yeah.
Do you see Reynolds?
No.
Do you think we're going to get 2 all-stars this year?
Yes.
Potentially.
That's exciting. Both pitchers, though, which is like,
That's
fine. 2 all-stars, 2 all-stars. What's the issue here?
I don't know. I like seeing a hitter. I don't think we've had like a hitter.
I'll say this.
No, ever since I saw Jason Bay hit 0 home runs in the home run derby, I don't want to see another Pirates hitter in the all-star.
Wasn't that in Pittsburgh too? So it's even worse. His home.
Yeah, it was.
Like you take BP there every day, and then like you step up and just.
No, that wasn't in Pittsburgh because when it was when it was in Pittsburgh, Jack Wilson and Freddie Sanchez were our all-stars.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Maybe it's in New York.
Yeah, I think it was. It was somewhere, but
either way, regardless, he sucked.
Yes, it was embarrassing.
Yeah,
I'll say this old statement: Brian Hayes keeps hitting the ball well. He might get some votes, and he might be in the All-Star game.
not over.
That's the thing. If you get hot at the right time, it's proximity, or what do they call it? They call it proximity, or
you need more than one third baseman. Yes.
Or do they call that recency bias? That's what they call it, right?
Yeah, I think you're thinking of proximity chat from Call of Duty.
Yeah, I don't use that. But that's going to be dangerous for. I feel like he wasn't confident before that. He's finally getting confident. Good for Gabriel.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Friday did wonders for him. That was a perfect time. Like, you couldn't draw it up any better. Him hitting the pretty much tying. Was that tying?
Tying home run, yeah.
Tying home run, then Palacios after hitting, the go ahead. So, Brian, if he starts getting some power,
Brian's was Friday. His was the go ahead. Palacios hit one to give him the 2-run lead.
2-run, okay.
Yes, was it yesterday he hit the tying home run? He's hit the tying 1-1
home run, yeah. So if he has the power under his bat, like he's always exit velocity, like 95 to 100. He smashes the ball. It's just I'll get a little loft under it.
Gotta get that angle.
You got to get that power out of your third baseman. That's big. So you got to think about it. He's still young too. I feel like at times we expect a little much out of him. But, like whenever you're signed to the deal he was last year, you probably should be expected of more. So it's good to see him kind of stepping up. He's had a couple good games. I think he had 3 for 4 or 4 for 5 today. I don't know. And then the other day, same way. So he's coming around a bit from where he started the season. At least he was batting like the low 200s, I think, or maybe even less than that. So good for him. I like to see him do well. And it looked like he had a big smile on his face on Friday, and that was probably one of the best games of the year so far. So,
yep.
What do we want to get into next? Andrew, I'll let you take the reins on the Pens talk. Dubas, you want to give some on that?
We're keeping this one short and sweet. Kyle Dubas will save the Penguins. He's not a Philly Jag like Ron Hextall. He's going to build out the analytics department. Not afraid to make a move like Ron Hextall. I think at the trade deadline, Ron Hextall was just sitting there, probably ready to wet himself, if I'd have to imagine, at the thought of having to make a deal. But, you see all the stuff that came out about Hextall. He told the Fenway Sports Group that his plan for the Penguins was all up here, which I could say the same thing. And they told him, put something on paper. He's typing it on Microsoft Word. Like Buddy probably had, what's the name, Clippy? What's the paper clip?
Blippy. Isn't it like Blippy or something like that?
It's Clippy.
The damn paper clip's probably helping Ron Hextall. And it probably could have done a better job than him at the moves he made. But I'll just keep that short and sweet. I'm going to wait until they're making some, Dubas already fired 3 people. He's going to bring his people in. Let's see who they get as GM. Hey, it's an exciting time to be a Penguins fan. There's finally a glimmer of hope that GM, kind of like Shiro Rutherford, in the fact that he's not afraid to make moves, but also looks a lot at the analytics.
But he's not the GM. He's the president of hockey operations.
Yeah, but he's the president. But what I mean is, Dubas has the ultimate control.
Yeah.
So whatever he said, whatever GM that they bring in is basically going to be the same thinking as him. But Dubas will be the one putting the analytics together. Just overseeing all of that. So, he's not the GM, but he'll be making the move. That's
who they need to go get is that assistant GM from Carolina and make him our GM. But here's my question, because you see it all the time when you have a GM change. Normally you have a coaching change. What kind of power struggle are you going to have there? I understand that. Well, I understand that Dubas says that he's on the same wavelength and mindset as Mike Sullivan, and he's going to build him a team to play the Mike Sullivan style. But like you always hear, that's not my coach. I didn't bring that coach in. So if there's any failures, you can't pin that on me. How quick do people turn on people?
That's not going to happen, because Dubas taking this job and them offering it. Fenway Sports Group has basically, there's been, I read all this stuff. They view Sullivan as the Bill Belichick of hockey, where he can be coaching wherever.
Okay.
As long as he's from there, as long as he wants. So Dubas has taken this job, and obviously, like you said, you see that all the time. Him and Sullivan, they're pretty close in the way they think and how to build a team. I don't think there's going to be any friction there. That was basically Dubas wouldn't take that job if he didn't want Mike Sullivan there. That was basically Sullivan's part of that. He's there. It's whether you want the job or not.
Just take it easy.
That was my concern, because you ask anybody who is anybody in the hockey world, they'll tell you if Mike Sullivan ever gets fired, there's 10 teams lining up to call him.
Oh, absolutely.
At minimum. And there's teams out there that have coaches that are Hall of Famers, great coaches, that will get fired at a drop of a hat if Mike Sullivan becomes available.
Yeah.
And I love Sully. I think he saved the franchise back when he first come in, 15, 16, 17. I think.
Yeah, because Mike Johnston was an idiot.
Yeah, but that's it. I think he's the reason we won them cups. I mean, he rejuvenated that team. That team was abysmal. They weren't playing the right style. Yada, yada. We get into that, but I know you want to keep it short and sweet. That was my only concern. Go ahead, Ryan.
My only piece was the situation, Dan, I think you're thinking of is Sullivan's more of a proven coach, and GMs that come in with coaches that they didn't hire, they kind of use that as an excuse to stay there a little longer. They're like, oh, this is our coach. I'm getting rid of him. This is my fault. Let me bring my guy in. Save my skin for another year or two, because I got my scapegoat. Kind of like a sacrificial lamb, like a bait and switch,
Yeah.
Or like a dead man switch a little bit.
I knew that was coming.
I knew that was coming.
I was waiting for that when you said the trap card. I was going to say it, but I'll just.
No, you can't bring in the dead man switch whenever you're talking about Exodia, the forbidden. It just doesn't fit.
I just don't know why you want trap card anyway, but because you could have said dead man switch, but that's fine. Anywho,
thanks.
On to the next.
Yeah. On to the next. Ooh, what do we got? What do we got next? What are we thinking? I mean, slow right now. Obviously.
Real quick on some Steeler talk. OTAs.
Yeah.
What was that cornerback they got late?
Trice Jr. is going to be
very impressive. They're saying he's very impressive right now. So that's very good to hear. Of course, you can't see much about OTAs or nothing like that, but that's the one thing I'm hearing out of OTAs right now is he is a freak. And that Washington, the tight end, I saw his interview at his locker. Did you see that guy's traps? That boy is this wide. He's a freak. So very exciting to see that just gets the NFL juices flowing a little bit.
And that's Steeler talk.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I got nothing on the Steelers. Kenny Pickett's looking beefy. Got his playbook still in the car after his vehicle was stolen, so good sign.
Do you think it's a physical playbook, or do you think it's on a laptop and
physical? Probably. Physical? I imagine.
It's probably one. You know what those leapsters are? You ever have one of those? You plug the book in and you click it.
No.
Yeah, it's probably one of those. It's like an interactive ebook.
That's after my time.
Yeah, I had one. You turn the page and press the little thingies on it.
Or do you think it was on an iPad maybe? Like they have, or them Google things or Microsoft things they have on the sidelines?
Microsoft Surface?
Yeah,
right?
It might have been one of them.
Surface?
Yeah.
Might have been. I don't know. There's no way they have physical playbooks. There's just, with all the tech they have.
Well, they could very well have physical playbooks.
They could.
When someone gets cut, you have to turn in your playbook. They don't say turn in your Microsoft Surface.
Wouldn't it be easier to turn your iPad in, or your Chromebook?
No. Cut the shit. All right. You can keep what's on the sidelines.
No.
OTA.
Here's the
actual
no.
playbook.
I'm going to cut you off because they don't have the printers on the sidelines anymore to print out previous plays and coverages and stuff that you just saw or you just faced. Oh, I just threw a pick. Let's print this out. Let me see. They don't have that no more. It's all on that freaking iPad.
Microsoft Surface.
I said you keep them on the sidelines during the games. If you're in OTAs, they're not giving Joe Schmo that's there for a weekend. They're not giving them an iPad.
Yeah,
you're getting the old school.
No. They're giving them an iPad.
I'm not questioning that. I'm saying Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett has an iPad.
They all do.
They're not giving old,
Kenny Pickett is
the NFL is billions and billions of dollar industry. They have, everybody has iPads. Guaranteed. Even the schmoes off the street that aren't even going to make the practice squad, they have iPads.
That's where Ryan's just not thinking. So the power grid goes down. You think the iPads are gone. Kenny Pickett's got the physical playbook.
No, he
and guess
doesn't.
who's winning?
Yeah, in the situation the power grid goes down, yeah, obviously.
Exactly.
That's
So
like saying, like, yeah, the power goes out. He's using candles instead of light bulbs.
Yeah,
like, no, Sherlock. Yeah.
If the power grid goes down, we're not having NFL football. Sorry. There's bigger fish to fry.
No, we still are.
No,
we're having NFL football.
Because
the
that
power
means
grid goes down. Roger Goodell will be having Sunday football.
no, he won't, because that means Russia has something to do with it, and we're all in trouble.
Yeah.
Or that damn Sasquatch.
It could be.
I think I saw a
They all
Sasquatch
have
out.
iPads, though. It's just impossible for them. The $1 billion that the NFL throws around, if you don't think the first thing they do is go to, Kirkland's or like Costco or something and just grab like the whole iPad section.
We want that whole pallet of them.
Forget about it. Well, I got no more. I got nothing else on the Steelers. I went through the bucket talk. They're hot. I'm enjoying it. NBA Finals. We'll see how that goes. 1-0. So
Ooh,
I don't know.
Who won the game last night? The NHL game. I didn't see. Vegas did. I didn't.
What are they up? 1-0?
1-0. Yeah, that was the first game. Game 1.
That's the cool thing. None of them overlap, so you'll have hockey or basketball.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of just watching championship stuff, which I'll tune into the trophy celebration. I like when I like stuff getting revealed, so like a nice box opening. So I don't care what it is. If I see a box opening video, I'm watching it. I've watched like soap ones before. I'm no interest in soap.
I'll agree with you. Yep.
No one cares about soap.
The serotonin just kicks. I don't know if there's something about it.
No, but like when you get a good unboxing and it has like a certain packaging, like it's wrapped in the cellophane. Then you open that up and there's just like trinkets inside, and like it's just more than just like opening up a bar of soap. You're getting like some little like confetti you can throw around, or like a nice ribbon, or the extras. You get those little extra little manual with a sticker, like a free sticker.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm big on box opening when the presentation's right. Yeah.
No, you're sitting at home watching box openings. I'm out there 5 a.m. not catching anything out on the streams. Just that's the blue collar weekend right there. That's Dan. That's a millennial right there. Look at that.
Me?
We're millennials. What do you mean?
Unboxing.
You're calling me one?
We're millennials.
I don't identify as a millennial. I'm old.
You're literally the definition.
He might be Gen Z.
I'm Gen Z.
Yeah, he's Gen Z. We're millennials.
That's literally Jag. You're my Jag.
I'm gonna have to agree with your brother. Ryan, mark it down. I have to.
I eat the maple donuts. I'm drinking the coffee up early in the morning.
That's even bigger.
No, it's
not. That makes you a bigger one. They only eat maple things. That's like the biggest thing.
No, donuts.
Millennial is literally maple.
That's an old person thing.
Yeah,
no, it's boomers.
Not. Gen X.
Maple. No,
dude.
No.
Yeah, millennials did the whole maple bacon thing. They did that whole thing.
I can't do that.
No,
don't pin that on my generation. Don't.
You don't have to associate with it, but they did it.
But
no,
Ryan, just take me agreeing with you twice in one episode and just leave it at that.
What did I do?
No, there was the thing where everyone was going bacon everything. It wasn't maple bacon. It was bacon. It was bacon.
No, it did maple bacon. Look it up.
No.
They did maple bacon milkshakes. They did maple bacon donuts. They did maple bacon everything.
Well, here's one Dan can agree with. I guess Gen Z can't haul anything. There's one for you.
They can.
I can get behind
that. Better than you.
Really?
False.
Yeah.
As the kids say, cap. That's cap.
Is.
That's like what they call it, attacking a straw man. Whenever you're in the wrong and then you try to attack the guy that's right. Andrew's trying to dig himself out of his hole that he made by attacking me.
I'm not in one.
That's like, what is that? A false herring or something? Like a red herring? Or I don't know. What do they call it?
Jessica herring.
Enjoy your non-existent Social Security. That's all I'm going to say.
We're not going to get it either. Okay. What are you talking about?
You'll have 3 years of it before me?
No, we're not.
3 years better than 0.
It'll be gone.
Just print more. Whatever. I don't care at this point. Print more. Let's just inflation.
I hate being the middleman.
$1 trillion coin.
You two start getting into it. I'm the middleman, and
You are in the middle of the video.
I am.
Now, so that's
you got to admit that, like, I didn't even do anything. He brought it upon himself, and like I'm just sitting here stating facts.
Ryan, I won't agree with you 3 times in one episode. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
As
We can
they
go
say-
back to the instant replay.
What do they say? Laissez-faire?
yeah, laissez-faire. I'm telling you, the maple donut, that's an old person thing. The maple donut specifically.
They say history repeats itself, so you might be in what, like the 1890s.
If you don't
kids
learn
or
about it,
whatever?
it repeats itself. That's
Huh?
why it's important to learn about history.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
said history repeats itself.
If you
so
don't
you're
learn
like
about it.
measuring up with the 1890s kids. Like you're a 90s kid, you're measuring up with like the 1890s kids. What did they do? They probably played in mud and like churned butter.
I mean,
they tapped trees for maple.
They still tap trees for maple. What do you mean? How do you think
They
get
probably
maple
went
syrup?
out and did it. It was like probably a family like affair to go out with your little hammer and sickle and your little tap thingy.
sickle?
You're not
To
taking
bring
a
the family
sickle.
sickle.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know what a sickle is?
Huh?
Do you know what a sickle is?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't use that to tap
Yeah.
trees for syrup.
Oh.
I'm saying you need protection. Bring
But-
the family sickle.
I mean, if
along
you're saying
going
hammer
out.
and sickle, you trying to get back to like Soviet Russia? Like, what are we doing here, guy?
Yeah, just
I
bring
mean,
the family
yeah.
sickle along.
and I'm not going to be attacked by someone who's trying to be a commie. Right
Yeah.
now. That's
Because it's
Yeah.
not
They're
it's not
bringing the
our
family
food. It's
sickle
my
along,
food.
yeah.
Okay. No, we're not.
It's a
we're-
farming instrument,
Yeah.
mm,
Tell that to Joseph Stalin.
like a scythe. They use scythe to cut like weeds on like embankments. Or what's the plural of scythe? Scythe, sigh.
Sigh.
I don't know.
Sigh.
They call them sigh.
Sigh.
Like multiple scythes.
Well,
Yeah.
I just know it as a
Scythe
sigh.
supply.
You ever use one?
I've seen it
It's
used.
very
They're
intimidating.
good videos to watch.
Very
If
intimidating.
you watch like oddly satisfying videos,
Yes.
those are always mixed in with there. Some
Absolutely.
like embankments getting cut.
Yes,
mm.
I'll agree with you.
If you're
man.
part of any Facebook groups with like old time like groundskeeping, you'll see a bunch of them.
See, I was going to nominate myself for Jag of the Week too before any of this occurred. So I double down on it.
Sure. I don't see why
Perfect.
not. We're 42 minutes in. You want to get there
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, let's just
I
go.
I was out and about. I was down at the spillway, Dan.
Okay.
Nothing yesterday. It was a bad day. The only hit I had took the lure off. That's on me. My next cast, I was visibly rattled. Didn't tighten the knot enough. Boom! Lure goes across the whole creek, slams into the wall over there. So I have to go get that at some point. But today, slept through my alarms. I wanted to be out by like 5:30. It's 7:15. I'm in a panic. I'm heading out. Spent 5 hours out there. Didn't catch anything. I'm just enjoying the view. Do you ever get the cramp right behind your knee? I do it all the time. I do it all the
You
time.
scared the hell out of me.
Dude, I get that all the time. Like if I'm just sitting here and I just bend my leg, the back of my knee, I'm a 3-time Jag today, just cramps up and I can't move my leg. So that's I'm tapping out there. I'm straightening my leg out. I'm in a tough scene right now. So we're gonna keep going on.
Stretches, like that's bad.
No,
As the resident like fitness / like athlete / like I don't know, health and wellness, like that's bad. You're just sitting like
buddy,
like,
your
no,
face was
weird.
pure terror. Terror.
Have you ever experienced that? Everything in the back of your knee just tightening up into a ball.
looked like you just
It's a
peed on an
scary
electric fence.
It's a scary. No, sitting there, I hate it. It is my worst fear.
You looked like
Everything-
Marv. What's that guy Marv, the wet bandit? Whenever he like, yeah.
That's probably what it looks like. Yeah, I was like, the train was on the tracks. I had to hop off.
Pure
real quick.
terror.
That is pure terror for me.
I thought like you stuck your foot in like an electric socket or something. Seriously, like you were like,
That's like-
I thought you were gonna die.
That was
No,
like the
it's-
face that I'd make whenever I had like the PS2 when I was young and I never turned it off before I took it out. And I'd just like rip it out of the socket and it'll electrocute me for like a second or two. Because I didn't comprehend you had to turn things off before you unplugged them back then. Every time I played PlayStation, I had to like turn it off. I just got electrocuted by it.
But no one's ever had that happen before, like a cramp behind your knee.
I have, but not.
No, I have the
just sitting
hammy. The
there.
hamstring's mine. Like
I've never had the hammy.
The foot.
that's just
the foot, man.
I've had the foot, but behind the knee there, like when it just like all cramps up at once.
Stop.
Scariest.
You mean the hamstring? How's the back of your knee cramp? It has to be a hamstring. Like the tight cord. The tight cord.
Literally right below my kneecap. Like
Right below?
The front of your knee?
No, I'm saying below, like
So it's your calf. It's your calf.
No, it's in between there and my hammy. It's no man's land. It's the Bermuda
That's
Triangle.
your hamstring. That's literally your hamstring.
I can't tell what part it is.
Inside or outside
It's
of the
that
knee?
tight band
Inside
is
or
your
outside?
hamstring. That goes right to your knee. It's the
Right
hamstring.
on the inside, like
Inside.
smack dab
Yeah,
middle.
that's your hammy.
It's the hamstring.
That's your
Feel
hammy.
right there. You see that band? I guarantee that's what it is. It's attached
Hammy
right
goes
to
from
your
your
knee.
ass
It's right
cheek down to like your Achilles tendon, the whole way. That's your hammy.
I can't be cramping up there anyway.
Trust me, local hamstring expert.
Yeah, you are a hamstring expert.
Straighten your leg and then point your toes back. Grab your toes.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta do that. I know I'm fine. I just felt it.
You weren't
like,
fine. You weren't.
No, it doesn't like when I straighten my leg out, it goes away immediately.
But I only get that when I'm like
terror.
after a hard day of physical activity and I like don't have a lot of water. That's the only time I like cramp up like that. So I don't know what was in the mix for you, but like blew it up a little bit, I guess.
Bananas,
like,
yeah. Well, so that was part of it. I was out for 5
mixed
hours.
in banana.
No, I was out for 5 hours. I forgot to bring my water, so that was strike one. And then we had open gym for basketball. Working there, trying to move the. I was like, I was working up a sweat, whatever. But that's probably why. There's no clues. But anyway, 5 hours, nothing. I got sent down to the minors in the fishing world. So I'm not catching anything. I had a muskie go for one of my rooster tails. Came up, missed it. Whatever. Doesn't you're not here nor there. This guy's fishing off the wall, and you know how there's the railing that goes about halfway over the spillway. I'm standing there, and the next thing I know, I see a shadow above me. I look up, and this dude's just standing on the edge of the wall. He's like, "Can you help me out?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes,
like Sting in the rafters with like a baseball bat. Just like
I thought Sting may be coming down.
Which Sting, like the musician or the wrestler?
The wrestler. Okay. But he's like, "I got a big one on. Can you get it in your net so I can get a picture of it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He swings over this huge largemouth, like monster. And I'm like, how's he going to get the rod down from the wall now? So an elderly gentleman's walking by. He's like, "Can you grab this for me?" Chucks his fishing rod off the wall. A guy catches it. I was the net guy for the rest of the day. So I'm not catching anything, but I'm helping other people bring their stuff in for photo. A nice photo op. That's just, it was a bad look.
Did you tell him to hold it closer to make it look bigger too? I always do that.
No, he had like a soundtrack going. He's got like country music going. He's like getting it in the water. It's it's moving around a little. He was like a cinematographer, I'm pretty sure. He had this setup, but yeah, I was on net duty. I felt like SpongeBob with the jellyfish net. That was basically me today. So not a great look. I got roasted earlier. I cramp up halfway through nominating myself as the Jag. Today's just a bad day.
That's a sign. For a guy that wanted to keep it short, you were just like long-winded about that one.
I wouldn't say that you were a Jag there.
I didn't cramp, yeah.
I wouldn't say that you were a Jag there because everybody has a role when it comes to things, outdoor, hunting, fishing, hauling, whatever it is.
Tracking,
you were just the net guy today. It happens to the best of them. You might get out there and get skunked. That's fine, but you were bringing joy to other people. So I wouldn't say you were a Jag. Maybe in your own eyes because you didn't catch nothing, but you're not going to catch something every time.
To me, like a day as the net guy, I'd like being a net guy. You get to use a net. You get to get something in the water and help someone haul in there. That's the hauler's motto. You're hauling something.
I was hauling
if you're not hauling something in your vehicle, you're hauling something.
Well, it wouldn't have been as bad if I didn't get skunked the day before and then I go back out for 5 hours and then it's just it's like a daily double of just nothing. Then It's almost like the pity party. Like the guys, you want to take the net, you want to hold the fish, something like that. Just tough scene. It's been a tough scene for me in general today.
You get to put it back in the water too, or sometimes they give you the honor to put the fish back in the water. Like, yeah, you can do it. Like, you get her back in there.
No. The one guy
to play with its tail a little bit as it goes away, like people do. Let it go away.
Usually, yeah, that's what you do. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I told Dan this last week when I was there. I caught a decent smallmouth, and it was all hooked through the side, and it was like deep, and I lost my pliers. And I asked the one guy next to me, "Hey, you got pliers? Give me a hand here." So we're taking, I get it out of its mouth. He works it out. He just picks it up and he's staring at it. And he looks at me. He goes, "You want this?" I'm like, "No, do you?" He's like, "No." And then he just chucks it right back in and walks away. It was a strange encounter, to say the least.
You get some weird folk up there at the spillway.
Yeah,
you do.
No, I'm becoming friends with them. I mean, there's the past 3 times I've been there, the same 2 guys have been there. So like we got a little group now. Like when you're out on the, you're fishing, this dude's out there at 5 a.m. He's smoking darts right away. He got his coffee with him. He's just pulling in fish left and right. I'm like, that's the guy I want to watch and learn from, because he's seen some stuff in his day. He knows what to do. That's who you look for there.
Yeah, I'm always skeptical about people that are around bodies of water. It's always like they're either fishing or they're like up to something, Like if they don't have a rod with them, they're up to something. No, that's just my motto.
They'd be up to?
Like feeding ducks, like they just attract like all the ducks. Like they have bread or something. Like those are the worst people. Like get your bread out of here.
Agreed.
But those are my 2 cents.
Yeah.
That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Or they're like chumming the water, or like throwing rocks and, like just getting the earth moving a little. I don't know.
That ain't chumming it. That's scaring the fish.
I know.
Tricks.
Like mucking up the water.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. I just got like a quick jag, but just in the Cheeto aisle, I was like getting the pistachios. I just want some wasabi pistachios. And some guy like comes up behind me, staring at the Cheetos. He's like, "Oh, come on." And like he just goes, I was like, "What's up?" Like, cause I don't know. He just said something. He's like, "Oh, like they didn't have like these flavor last week." And then he just grabbed like flaming hot ones and walked away. He thought they weren't there, and I was like, "All right, well, jag."
That's fair.
But
you know the Simpsons meme where it's like old man yells at cloud.
Mm-hmm.
I got to experience one of those in real life the other day, and it was glorious. I was at the car wash at Cheats, and the older couple in front of me, the guy I'm watching, he's just like looking at the screen, and he just starts like hitting it, and he's hitting it, and he's poking at it, and he's like shaking it, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? So his wife gets out of the car, she's walking in. He didn't know how to punch the code in. He already like bought it, so I don't know what he thought, but he was there for, I timed it 7 minutes, just hitting the screen, hitting it, like slapping it, like like someone, like you get something on the vending machine, you're like kind of slap. He was doing everything in his power to make that screen work, and he just couldn't figure it out. And I was scared to get out. I'm like, this guy's teeing off on a car wash touchscreen. I go up there, he might just hit me with a right hook, and I'll be dropped.
Yeah.
I kept my distance there.
That's a dangerous man.
Yeah. Probably could beat I'd take him over Ryan in beating a kangaroo. But
I mean,
neither here nor there.
I'll tell you what, whenever the Autobots and Decepticons start taking over the world, that's the guy you want on the front lines. He knows where to hit them.
No, you want me. Trust me.
Sure.
Anything mechanical like that, you just got to throw junk at, and it'll clog. It'll clog something. There's so many moving parts. People don't think of that,
Yeah, just throw.
When you have that many moving parts, just throw like garbage, and something will get stuck, and like he's
onto something. He's onto something.
Like a banana peel?
No, just like if first thing I'm doing, I'm going to Stanford's. I'm buying all the screws and bolts they have, and I'm just putting them in a bucket and just throwing them handfuls. Something's got to stick. Something's got to be where it shouldn't be.
Like a coach that just won the Super Bowl, you're just gonna.
Yeah, something. Something's gonna land where it shouldn't, or something's gonna be bouncing where it shouldn't be, or Just gotta get down and dirty.
You know
or
what?
put a banana peel
This
down
might
and
be
we'll
your
slip
first
on it.
rational, like irrational thought you've ever had.
Or like water. Like, would they do well in water?
No.
Exactly. Why would they come here? It's like 75% water. So like, what are they gonna do?
He's on to something. Yeah, we gotta call it there. Ryan had a good point.
There. Yeah, on to something.
Ryan's on to something.
Far. We can't keep unraveling this.
No.
Whatever. I said my piece.
I'm staying hydrated.
Take it if you want. All right. Well, that's episode like 46 or 47 or 48, something around there. See you guys next week. We'll get more golf details ironed out. We need a solid head count. If you're listening, shoot us a message. Get us a head count going. We got work to do. All right. That's it. See you guys next week. 3, 2.